Hello.
How are you guys doing? I like your Philly hat. I did a show there many years ago. I'm from Texas and I grew up a Cowboys fan. And you know, like, traditionally the Cowboys and the Eagles don't like each other. So I would go down, I forget the name of the bar, but I spent like 4 months there and every Sunday I would go to this bar. And the Philly fans were actually so rad to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's a worse reputation.
It was in the McNabb era.
Okay.
Yeah, when he was really good.
Yeah.
And I like became such a fan while I was there.
Well, it's like a lot worse reputation than like reality, you know. Like I grew up going to Philly games and I did see like some fights or whatever, but it's like definitely the reputation is worse.
Yeah, I agree. I love their fan base.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yes, the Eagles.
The Eagle.
See, I'm not an Eagles fan, but like I am Phillies fan.
Like, no.
Yeah, Mike Schmidt. Come on, I love that guy.
Yes, always.
Anyway, where are you guys from? If you don't mind telling us your name, where you're from.
Staten Island. Right over here.
And who are you with?
FanFest News.
Awesome.
I'm from South Jersey, near Philly, but I'm in Brooklyn.
And who are you with? Who are you guys?
Talk nerdy with us.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
TV News.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Kaylin Hines, Nice Girls Media, and I'm from Boston area.
Awesome.
Yeah, I live in Chicago right now.
Okay. And who are you with?
AgeOfTheNerd.com.
Awesome. Awesome. And yourself?
I do too, actually. My name's Brittany, and I'm from Atlanta. And I do Legion of Leia, which is female-based writing, and we do pop culture and all the nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
And then I also write for a horror mag website. It's From Dusk Till Con.
Oh, I love that name.
And they produce a horror convention called Days of the Dead, and they just travel, do like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Awesome.
So this is all in my wheelhouse. It makes me really happy.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hey, you guys are up next too, so where are you from?
From Texas, Dallas.
Oh, shit, okay.
I'm working on lore.
I'm from Austin, Texas.
I used to live
So
in El
did you guys
Paso.
get grouped together because of the Texas connection?
I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I should be so lucky. So, yes.
It's following orders.
Yeah. Where do you guys want to start?
Holland.
Yeah.
You've been surrounded by supernatural creatures for the last year.
I have.
All kinds of creatures. What does it feel to be a woman who might or might not be a fairy? That's the weirdest question.
Folklore in general follows me quite a bit. I have to remind myself I'm human. For me, it really comes down to story. People say, oh, what are your favorite kind of movies? And I say, well, I don't have a favorite kind of genre. I like stories, and whatever path that leads you down, I like the good story path. That's the only path I like. So be it, horror for the rest of my life, or if it switches from period pieces that are in, a horror genre, or if it's a sci-fi like Arrival, which, you're learning my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Or even, something like The Man Who Knew Too Much. I love this idea of the what if, like we were talking about earlier. And that what if, Doris Day and her mind spinning is almost worse than what is the reality as bad as what she's imagining. And, that's not too far from the theme of lore, and in particular the episode that I was working on. So I follow the good content is what I try to do. I follow that with docs, I follow that with scripted, and I follow that with podcasts. So that's what I try to do. And I follow it with magazines as well. I mean, magazines, like there's magazines now that are doing pop-up live variety shows that reminded me a lot of lore. A magazine called California Sunday, and they do live, a variety show that is bringing back this kind of old art form, and I love that it's now going to be on television screens as well. And so I really like where television's heading. It's constantly pushing the envelope.
So for both of you, since you brought up podcasts, what podcast do you listen to if you listen to any?
I listen to lore. I love Pod Saves America, obviously. One of my favorites is called Here's the Thing with Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
He does excellent interviews. Who knew he had like Oprah level interview skills? He really do feel like you're a fly on the wall of a conversation. He'll interview the chief police of the NYPD. He'll interview an opera singer, the editor of Martin Scorsese, the president of Doctors Without Borders. It's a different term in France. Like their French version. I mean, he just all walks of life, and he's really well educated and just versed in whoever he's interviewing. There was the CEO, I think it was Howard Schultz of Starbucks.
Yeah.
That one. So he's probably one of my favorites. I dive in with him, and Aaron Minky honestly was one of my other favorites. I'm also just a big NPR fan, so anything from the Baltimore area. It usually fares well with me. You know, good old S-Town and Serial. But yeah, I love that podcasts. I think as we commute, there's, you know, for urban sprawl, it's amazing that, you know, audio is such a lovely reincarnated form of entertainment for us. I think that it goes hand in hand with each other because, you know, commuting is inevitable in our day and age in our cities. So it's nice that podcasts are there for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think Aaron Mahnke is the Stephen King of podcasting. The guy is incredible. I love lore, and that's kind of what made all this possible, obviously. I'm also a huge fan of Sword and Scale. I think what Mike Boudet is doing over there is so horrifying, but yet telling about humanity and the dark things that we do, that kind of monster inside, is terrifying. When I listen to this podcast, sometimes I have to pause it. I'm like, I can't handle this, you know, but I'll go back to it. That said, I am a homer for horror. You know, I love everything from The Exorcist to The Human Centipede. I like it all. The Sword and Scale is the most horrifying thing I've ever listened to in my life. I love Up and Vanished, Payne Lindsay, Citizen Sleuth. I think what he's done in helping crack the case of Tara Grinstead is amazing for her family, and for justice. I think that's just absolutely, you know, incredible and inspiring. I love the medium in general. There's so many amazing ones. TED Talks, like I'm the type of guy where you hear one on like I saw one about a girl who's like a human mermaid, and I was like, hey, could I be a merman? Like, I'm so simple, and I love the way that we can kind of bring experts into our room. Like she was talking about earlier about working on her accent on YouTube. I love that we live in this age where we can find experts and information and teach ourselves. I think podcasts are a way to do that.
Even adventure, just to segue for a second, I mean, like, you know, Red Bull Media House has a couple podcasts that actually take you on like what it feels like audibly of you know, slacklining or mountaineering or ice climbing. And so, you know, I think that podcasts are pretty incredibly descriptive considering you're not seeing anything these days. There's just a testament to the kind of storytellers that are out there right now.
Yeah.
Citizen Sleuth, I'm gonna have to get a list from him.
It's a good one. I love that Spotify is now programming original podcasts. I'm very excited for what Courtney is doing over there. I love what Apple Music, you know, is doing and building over there. But also, I think it's a medium that allows what would traditionally be outsiders to Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Mahnke he didn't go to New York Film School. He doesn't have some fancy degree. He doesn't come from the fraternity of George Lucas and the USC guys, right? Which are great, and I love that. But Aaron Mahnke started in the basement on the East Coast, you know, where he had been a novelist trying to sell books like so many other writers out there, like friends of mine, like my sister, like my aunt, like so many people I know. And yet he was able to get his product out there, his stories out there, his passion out there initially, and I should let him tell this story, but initially to grow his mailing list, right? It was kind of like a byproduct. It wasn't like, let me start this phenomenon and grow. It was like, hey, let me do this to grow my mailing list.
He grew his mailing list all right.
Yes.
It's called the Amazon viewership.
Yeah, and now he's got a show where he's working with Galen Hurd and Glenn Morgan, and you know, I'm lucky to be a part of it and help bring it to the screen. But like, you know, Ben Silverman always tells me that the best stories come from real talent, and real talent is Aaron Mahnke.
So we were joking before. So tell us how it's like working with Nick Cage on Facebook.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Better than you could imagine.
I was debating if I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah. It's not the first time I've heard it.
Like legitimately people have asked you.
Oh, I remember in the Face-Off offices we had pictures from the movie in the hallway. You know, like we were all in on the joke for sure. For sure.
But on the subject, how do you go from Face-Off to
Yeah, good question. I started my career actually in special effects makeup. My first job in Hollywood was working for Rick Baker. Rick has 7 Academy Awards for special effects makeup. The last film I got to do over there was a film called Hellboy, and Guillermo del Toro would come in every day. You know, I was the lowest man on the totem pole and was so grateful and happy to be there. But I love storytelling, and I think, you know, in this day and age, I don't believe that it's regulated to one medium or one voice. Great stories come from everywhere. You know, they don't have to be on a podcast or a TV show or a book, like wherever and however you could get them. I'm fortunate that I'm in a position where I do know a lot of great people, and I have a limited understanding of how kind of Hollywood works. So I think, you know, I got into this business because I want to tell stories, and I want to work with people that inspire me. So to be here sitting with this incredible woman and working with Gail and working with Ben and Howard and Glenn Morgan, like, it's inspiring. You know, I'm just, hopefully this is the first of many more to come.
Do you find doing makeup and stuff is almost a form of storytelling, like you were saying?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I think, you know, it's somewhat of a lost art form, but the same thing happens in photography. You know, the same thing happens when you draw a picture. But makeup, absolutely. I mean, when people talk about a film like Alien or even E.T., like, you think about what that monster looks like, and there's many artists involved in that, but certainly the makeup artist has something to do with it. I remember when I got hired at Rick's the first time. The first day I walked in, Rick came in, and I was in the room, and I think I was making zombies at the time for Haunted Mansion, which is my favorite experience at Disneyland. The movie sucked. But, and he comes in, and he opens the door, and he looks at me and he says, "Who the hell hired you?" And he shut the door. Now, he was just screwing with me, right? But getting to know him and the way that he helped bring classic characters to life, An American Werewolf in London, Thriller, like, yes, absolutely, it's an integral part of storytelling, and I think, you know, I'd love to do 10 more shows like Face Off. There's so much more ideas I have in that space. I think right now the competition space is a little crowded and needs to be kind of reinvented. I think a lot of what we see is derivative of that kind of original Project Runway format, and I think makeup artists, and I know I'm a homer for it because I come from that world, but I think are incredible storytellers. You know, they create the look, the costume, and all these different things, and I want to do more in that space.
There's a lot of respect when practicals are used, meaning, you know, not a lot of special effects as far as CGI goes. Yeah, the practicals, it's always fun when you see a lot of practicals on set. As an actor, you get really excited.
Yeah, Holland, was it different? You just spent so many years on TV.
Yeah.
Going into a series and with a specific character, was it different doing just like a one-off?
I had become on Teen Wolf like a news junkie. I'd become a doc, obsessive nerd fan of the, you know, fangirling on those things, and I haven't quit in that genre. But I was getting my feet wet again, and so I was just so blessed to have an amazing cast and really friendly, approachable, grounded creative that come from pretty spectacular corners of this industry. So you know, I know everyone says this, but it's true. You're just grateful, and it passed in the blink of an eye, and I tried to savor each little moment because I didn't want to forget what it first felt like. But to play an accent, a girl from a different country, a different time period, and an entirely new cast, I was nervous.
All right. Thank you
guys so much.
I was nervous. I don't want to end on that.